Okay, students. Now we are going to observe the parts of a flower. So you're familiar with these parts. Now, and also you're familiar with different types of flowers. You know this is a show flower, a hibiscus flower. So this is the bloomed one. And here also you can see another shoe flower. Both are shoe flowers. So you can see the different colors, the differences in all these flowers as well. So what we need to do is we need to identify the parts, as well as we need to take a longitudinal section, and inside also we need to identify the different parts of the flower. So as you can see here, students, this is the stalk that attaches the flower to the branch. Then we have the receptacle. Now this part is the receptacle. That is what has all the other structures attached to it in a whorl-like manner. So thereafter, you can see these green color parts. What are they? That is the calyx, a whorl of sepals. And here in this flower also, you can see the calyx, this one. At the same time, here this is a bud of the flower. In this, you can see all the parts. The inner parts of the flower is covered by the calyx. So the sepals provide protection when the flower is in the bud stage. Once it blooms, this is how you get the sepals. So then again, you can see in this we have the corolla that is made up of petals. So all these you can see from here itself the whorl arrangement. Inside you can see only the stalk and the style here, that is part of the female reproductive system, and you can see the stamen containing the anther and the filament. Now here students, you all can see these yellow color small structures, those are the anther. Anther is attached to the style by the filaments. You can see that closely. Can you all see that clearly? So those are the parts that we can see from outside. So in these two shoe flowers, I told you all the stamens that contains the anther and the filament, that's the androecium, male reproductive structure. Then I showed you all the stigma and the style here. Those are parts of the gynoecium, the female reproductive system. So what type of a flower is this? This is a bisexual flower, a flower that contains both male and female reproductive structures. What I am going to do is I am going to take a longitudinal section of the flower. To do that, I will take the flower from here. Then from this side, using a sharp blade, if we cut it across. So here, this is how we can take the longitudinal section. In this, now you all can see students, this is how in a whorl manner all the parts are arranged. So here you can see students, this is the stalk that attaches the flower to the branch. Then here we have the green color, the sepals, that is in a whorl arrangement. Then inside we could not see the parts, this part before, that is part of the gynoecium or the pistil, the female reproductive structure. This is the ovary, you can see here. Inside the ovaries you will be able to see the ovule. So students, now when you all are observing the flower, you can use the hand lens and observe it more clearly. But for now, I will show you all the flower only. So here you can see students, the ovary with the ovules inside. From the ovary, you can see this is the ovary. Then we have this part, this structure, that is the style. And here at the end of the style, we have these, those are the stigma. And here you can see the filaments These structures are the filaments. At the end of the filaments, we have the anther. So here it is the anther and the filament together is the stamen. So those are the parts of the flower. Now what we can do is we can remove these to understand that they are attached in a whorl-like manner. Now I am removing this. So here with one petal you can see. So can you all see the whorl-like arrangement there? So those are the different parts of the flower. So in a flower, the important parts, the stalk, then we have the pedicel, then we have the sepals, petals. Sepals make up the calyx, petals make up the corolla. Then we have the female reproductive structure, the pistil, or what we call as the gynoecium. And the male reproductive structure, that is known as the stamen or the androecium. So those are the parts of a flower. You all have learned this before also, and we need to draw a diagram of the longitudinal section of the flower. So I am sure you all can do that by yourself now. You can also cut a flower at home and you all can observe all these parts more clearly. So you all know there is pollination. Pollination is the process by which the mature pollens are deposited on the stigma of the flower. That can occur in two ways, self-pollination and cross-pollination. As you already know, cross-pollination is more better. Why? Because there is mixing of characteristics, so new species can be formed. Therefore, flowers or plants have adaptations to avoid self-pollination and to promote cross-pollination. So I'll repeat. So here I have some flowers with those adaptations. Now this of course is a hibiscus flower, a shoe flower. This doesn't have any adaptation to prevent self-pollination. This is a bisexual flower that you already know. I just wanted to compare this with the other flowers. That's why I have it here. So I'll keep it aside. So then you all are familiar with unisexual flowers. So first I have the flowers that are unisexual. Normally unisexual, the pistillate and terminate flowers are separate. You all can remember, students, corn, coconut, even paddy, these are all unisexual flowers. So in unisexual flowers, here I have the coconut flowers. You all know in coconut, the flowers that bear fruits are the female flowers, and the flowers at the top or towards the shoot apex are the male flowers. So here I have the unisexual flowers of coconut. You all can see that. Then there is an adaptation, self-sterility. Self-sterility is the adaptation where the pollens of the flower, if it falls on the stigma of the same flower, it will not develop into a pollen tube and lead to fertilization. An example of that is passion. So here you can see the passion fruit flower here. This is almost in the bud stage. It has not bloomed completely. If I open it out like this, here you all can see another adaptation as well. You can see these, students. This is the stigma. Here we have the stamens at the bottom. So the positioning of stigma and stamen also help to prevent self-pollination as well as they show self-sterility. Then I have the flower, orchid flower. This shows the adaptation hercogamy. When we say hercogamy, positioning of the stamen and the stigma far apart. That you can observe in this orchid flower. Here you all can see the stigma and the stamens are positioned far apart so that there is less chances of the pollens from the flower falling on the stigma of the same flower, hercogamy. Then we have the jasmine flowers. They show extrose stamens. Extrose stamens means either the stamens are bent out and the stigma is straight, or the stigma bends outwards while the stamens are short. So there again there is less chances of the pollen falling on the stigma of the same flower. So that is jasmine flower there. Then we have tridax. Tridax shows the adaptation dichogamy. Dichogamy means the maturation of the pistil and the stamen occur at different time periods. So that when the female reproductive system is mature, there is pollination possible. But the male reproductive part, the stamen, is not mature. So that is seen in these flowers, tridax flowers. Now here these are also bisexual flowers. Actually there are small flowers all arranged into one. It has the male and female flowers together, but still there is dichogamy there. So these are some flowers with different adaptations to prevent self-pollination and to promote cross-pollination.